From Delaware's most award-winning radio news team, this is WDEL Video News. Here's Chris Carl.
Among Delaware's top stories for Friday, January 5th.
Two-thirds of Delaware's congressional delegations start new terms as the 110th Congress begins its work. I'm Carl Konefsky in Washington. Details coming up.
Christina discusses plans to improve student performance. And Kimmy Meissner gets ready for the national championships. Here are the details. As the historic new Congress began work yesterday, Senator Carper and Congressman Castle were among the lawmakers taking the oath of office. WDEL's Carl Konefsky reports from Washington.
Castle began the first day of the 110th Congress with a business-as-usual approach, riding to his office after taking the train from Wilmington to Washington's Union Station. The congressman says after a tough campaign season, his November victory and return to Washington seems a little more special this time.
Because it's a very difficult process. We all understand that, but it's a very necessary process, part of our democracy and part of what we need to go through. And this election was made tougher for me because I did have my health problems in September, but was able to overcome all that.
Senator Tom Carper took the oath of office for his second term as Delaware's junior senator, while a reception room full of family, friends, and supporters looked on. He says though voters elected a divided government, they didn't vote for gridlock.
The election's over, set the politics behind us, and let's figure out how we can work together to solve our problems with Social Security and Medicare, to stop global warming, to clean up our air, to raise the minimum wage for people who haven't had an increase in minimum wage for like 10 years. There's a lot that we can do, and we need to get started on that.
Congressman Castle starts his Delaware record 8th term in the House, but this time as a member of the minority party, where he says his role as a centrist should serve him well.
That sort of puts me in the middle. For example, I'll be involved in the embryonic stem cell bill, which will come up early on. I'm very concerned about the ethics changes. I believe what the Democrats are doing is correct, but they could do even more. And so I hope to be a player just as I was before.
Castle and Carper say a divided government with a Republican president and Democratic Congress isn't necessarily a bad thing, forcing cooperation between both the House and the Senate. Reporting from the nation's capital, I'm Carl Konefsky, 1150 AM, WDEL.
County police think they have the triggerman in a fatal shooting just outside Wilmington last night. Officers found the 17-year-old victim in the parking lot of Canby Park Apartments. He later died at the hospital. His name hasn't been released. Police have a 35-year-old man in custody in connection with the shooting, but are still investigating. A Wilmington woman was killed while crossing Kirkwood Highway yesterday morning. State police say 52-year-old Charlotte Center was hit by a car near Duncan Road around 10 a.m. The driver was also hurt. No charges have been filed, but that investigation continues. Christina School District is making long-range plans to improve student performance. Details from WDEL's Curtis Gray.
The three-year strategic plan being developed by the district is looking to identify the strengths, weaknesses, challenges, and opportunities in the district. That includes high school special education and the large number of high school students performing below their level in reading and math. While the district is facing a deficit of more than $20 million, grant supervisor Andrew Hegedus says funding issues will come later.
The first part is we need to know what it is that we need to do. And then we have to figure out how to prioritize where we spend money to go get those things done. So this is a process where we haven't yet looked at finances because that's not the immediate issue. The immediate issue is what do we need to do for kids?
Connie Lilly has one child in the district. She likes the idea of including the students.
Absolutely. Especially the parents, the children, because everybody's voice is important to be successful. It can't just be, policies and procedures and regulations, and everybody needs to be involved. So
the
yeah.
district took input Thursday night at
Absolutely.
Garthakovs Middle School with another session set for next week at Byard School in Wilmington. I'm Curtis Gray, 1150 AM, WDEL.
A DuPont economist has a warning. WDEL News continues in a moment.
You could spend your money at the gas pump, or you could spend it on those sexy pumps at your favorite store. Let Dart do the driving.
I do all my shopping with Dart. It's the most convenient way to shop the outlets, and it saves me money.
Now save even more. Get up to 40% off with a discounted Dart card online at dartfirststate.com or at your local Acme Market.
At this rate, with the money I save riding Dart, I have a new pair of shoes every week.
Travel smart. Choose Dart.
Some state lawmakers want to give the state's 2 auto plants one less reason to close. Legislation sponsored by Representative Debbie Hudson would exempt Daimler Chrysler's Newark plant and GM's Boxwood Road plant from the state's gross receipts tax. Hudson says the exemptions would reduce annual revenues to the state between $1.5 to $3 million, but she says Daimler Chrysler would save about $15 per vehicle assembled in Newark. The company is under pressure to cut production costs. About 2,200 people work at the Newark plant, and about 1,600 are employed at Boxwood Road. A 15-year-old boy accused of murdering his 9-year-old cousin more than a year ago will not face a jury when his case goes to trial later this month. Christopher Wallace of Cocoa Beach, Florida, is accused of stabbing his 9-year-old cousin Daniel Schlor to death while staying at the boy's family house near Milltown over the Thanksgiving holiday in 2005. Wallace has been granted a bench trial. Court papers indicate that Wallace's lawyers intend to argue that Wallace was mentally deficient at the time of the murder. The global economy finished strong in 2006, but a DuPont forecaster warns of a slowdown. DuPont economist Robert Fry Jr. spoke to the Wilmington Rotary Club yesterday. His forecast shows a slowdown in the global economy for 2007, with the U.S. leading the way. Fry also says beware of a slow 2007 start for the German economy.
The German economy ended the year last year on a very strong note. That was probably at the expense of growth in early 2007. So you're probably going to see a tax-related slowdown in growth in Germany in the first quarter, and that should probably spread somewhat to the rest of Europe. So don't expect Europe to start out this year quite as strong as it ended last year. But for the year last year, global growth was very strong. It's going to be much more trend-like this year.
Fry says the biggest growth last year was the Asia-Pacific region, with the exception of Japan. Figure skater Kimmy Meissner, who trains at the University of Delaware, is preparing for the U.S. Figure Skating Championships. WDEL's Frank Gerace reports.
During a press conference Thursday at the Fred Rust Ice Arena, the 17-year-old said whether she'll include jumps like the triple axel in her routine at this year's Nationals is a day-to-day decision.
No, there's definitely times where I can tell if I can just do them. That's what I mean by some days I just can't. There's like a feeling, and sometimes I really have it, and other times I just don't. So, I mean, if they start getting a lot better before Nationals and I'm there and I'm really landing all of them, then I'll probably definitely put them in there.
At the 2005 Nationals, Meissner became the second American woman to land a triple axel in competition, and last year she finished second in the Nationals and sixth in the Olympics, but took home the gold in the World Championships, upsetting favorites Sasha Cohen and Fumiya Seguri. Frank Gerace, 1150 AM, WDEL.
The Flyers find no magic in a hat trick. WDEL Sports and your Delaware AccuWeather forecast coming up.
Looking to gain an edge in the technology or design field? Wilmington College's Division of Information Technology and Advanced Communications offers state-of-the-art facilities equipped with the latest tools. Did you know that Wilmington College has been preparing students for careers in media arts and technology over the past 7 years? Enjoy hands-on experience and personal attention from instructors drawn straight from the industry. To learn more, visit wilmcoll.edu. Wilmington College. Achieve balance, achieve success.
I'm Peter MacArthur.
I'm Melanie Armstrong, and here are Delaware's top stories at the top of the hour.
The most complete coverage of the news that matters in Delaware every weekday morning, 5:30 to 9 on 1150 AM WDEL.
In WDEL Sports, Martin Straka provided all the goals for the New York Rangers as they snapped the Flyers' 3-game winning streak with a 3-2 win. Eric Maloche and Mike York scored for the Flyers in the final period. Delaware snapped Hofstra's 10-game winning streak in women's basketball with a 59-56 win at the Bob last night. Courtney Irving hit a layup with 1:25 remaining to put Delaware up for good. Tyresa Smith led Delaware with 19 points and 8 rebounds. Chrissy Fisher added 19 points and 6 rebounds. And Irving had 17 points and 7 rebounds as the Hens raised their record to 11-2 and 2-0 in the CAA. Your WDEL Delaware AccuWeather forecast: cloudy with rain at times today, a high 64. Cloudy tonight, a bit of rain and drizzle. Some fog as well, low 55. Then for tomorrow, clouds and fog break for sun, a high 68. Sunday, sunshine followed by clouds with rain likely, and a high 56. Get news updates throughout the day. Delaware's top stories at the top of the hour on 1150 AM WDEL or anytime right here at WDEL.com, including news video from Delaware and around the world from WDEL and the Associated Press. I'm Chris Carl. Thanks for watching.